Hello, so we're going to take a look at grading assignments or grading at the assignment level. So I have editing turned on, so we're going to go ahead and add an activity here. So I click on add an activity, whoops, I click on add an activity, and we're just going to do online text. That's the simplest assignment type. Basically, you give the students the instructions, the students type in text into the actual assignment page itself, and then they can turn in their submission. So let's click online text. Okay, so I have to give an assignment name. Let's call it online text sample assignment. Instructions. So I would have introduction, then I'd have some kind of text, then I'd have instructions, and I'd have some kind of text. Okay, so this would be kind of your standard, whatever your style guide says, your standard lesson content here. Okay, so basically, you'd give instructions. You could put display on description page. Generally not, because you don't want to clutter up your main course page. Okay, so we're going to take away the due dates. Prevent late submissions, no. Grade, we leave it at 100. Okay, so now we're going to talk about grading. So you can set up grade categories on the left side of the screen in your settings menu. In the settings menu, you can set up your grades, and that's where you would add these categories. Okay, so you could categorize this as homework or test or classwork or whatever categories you want to make up, and that's the way you would weight different types of assignments against each other to get your final grades. Now inside the assignment, though, the things that you can select are a couple different things. So you can either select simple direct grading or rubric in this case. There are other options based upon the way you set up your grading, but those are the initial types, so simple direct grading and rubric. In this case, we're going to call it simple direct grading, and then we're going to leave it as allow resubmit, yes, email alerts the teacher, no, comment in line. And this is great because it gives a lot of help right here. Okay, so this allows you to comment in line inside the actual submission. Okay, and we're going to leave the groups blank for now. Okay, so we're going to go save and display. Okay, so this is exactly what the student would see. So they would have, well, not exactly. The student would see. They would not see this no attempts have been made. They would see the rest of the text. And you'll notice that I forgot to left justify this text. This depends on how your Moodle system is set up, if you need to left justify this text or not. So basically what will happen is the student would come in, they click add submission. Okay, at this point this submission box would come up, and they would type in some kind of text to submit. Okay, and they would save changes. So that would be the student answering the prompt. It says your changes have been saved. It gives them this confirmation. Okay, now in the teacher's view, they would see this one submitted assignment here. Okay, so this would view one submitted assignment. So with simple direct grading, what will happen is that all the people that have turned in an assignment for this particular assignment will show up on this list. Notice that the default action for this is that you have to go to the status column, click grade. Then you can see the actual submission. This is where if you had say multiple file upload or single file upload, this is where you would open the files. You'd assign a grade, in this case 1 out of whatever, because you assigned it 1 out of 100, so it's whatever out of 100. Okay, and then you could give the student feedback and then save changes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cancel this for now. In general, though, you'd save changes. Okay, so there's a couple options on how to grade. Another great option, if it's something that is easy to grade, or just you're counting it just if the student completed the assignment or not, you can allow quick grading. Say if it was very brief, we can click quick grading and save our preferences. You can also show all, or submissions shown per page. You can show 100 or whatever. So in this case, so now that we've allowed quick grading, what happens is we get these additional columns. So we get a grade column where we can just assign a grade directly inside of this table containing all our student work. We also get the submission right here, and basically we can just click on it and we get a pop-up of the student text that was submitted. Okay, so let's go back. So that's the first type of grading. Okay, so that's simple direct grading. Let's go back to our course page and let's edit this assignment. And let's say that instead of simple direct grading, let's say that we wanted to make this a rubric. So let's say that we change this to rubric. Okay, and we scroll down and we click Save and Display. Okay, at this point, what happens is once we say that we want to use a rubric, what the system does is it senses that we don't have any rubrics. Okay, so basically we go in and we say, do we want to create a new grading form from template or from scratch? Okay, so we're going to have to create one from scratch since we don't have any currently. We have to create a name for this rubric, so we're going to call this student response rubric. Okay, and we can add a description. Rubric designed to evaluate high-level student responses. So let's say that you're getting students to come up, formulate an evaluation of something in class. This might be the rubric to use. Okay, so we're going to scroll down here. So this is where this is where we create a rubric. It's a great interface. We click to edit criterion. Let's say that this criteria, we're going to say so we're going to say length, response length. Okay, and let's say that 0 points is 1 sentence or less. Let's say that 1 point is 2 to 3 sentences. And let's say that 2 points is 4 or more sentences. Okay, so we go ahead and we add, we can add in additional levels. We can also add criteria. Okay, so basically this is how we build our rubric. So we have point columns, we have our criteria, and we have our levels to those criteria. Okay, so now we have our options: display points at each level during evaluation. So we're going to leave all these as ready to go. We're going to delete this criteria first. Okay, save rubric and make it ready. Now, of course, you would put in more criteria if you're actually using a rubric, right? Okay, so we have one. We get back to our assignment. We can now go view our one submitted assignment. Okay, notice now quick grading is not available, right? So quick grading, because now it's a rubric, is not available in optional settings. So we have to go ahead and click grade. Okay, so now we have our rubric, and all we do is we would go ahead and click one of these, right? So we would select for each criteria, we would select our number of points. Okay, so in this case, let's say the student, well, actually they gave exactly 1 sentence, so they'd get 0 points. Okay, and we have our comments that we can fill out there, as well as our feedback, and now we can go ahead and save changes. Okay, so our grade was 0 out of 100. Let's say we want to go back and we want to update the status. Okay, so let's say that we want to give them 2 points instead of 0 points, and save changes. Okay, now it's 100 out of 100. So obviously the grade from the rubric would reflect a number of points based upon the percentage of the rubric. Okay, so that gives us a brief overview of the types of grading that's available by default on a per assignment basis. Good luck.